What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today going to resume a little bit the secret technique. Let's talk about Blue Gogeta, the Gogeta of wisdom, even though some of you might not call him that, but his secret technique. So this character has been out since like season 2. People weren't sure how good he was going to be. He had like a couple of functions in season 2, and in season 3 he kind of fell off, honestly. I did talk about the issues he had. This is actually the first character I made a problem with video, the problem with Blue Gogeta. But instead of talking about his downsides, let's talk about something that he has that the majority of the cast don't necessarily have. So today we're going to be talking about a system that exists in Dragon Ball, and it's not that important in Dragon Ball, but it does make a difference because, you know, I'm making a video about it. But it's very important in other Arc System Works games, which is called the attack level system. So in Arc System Works games, they use this attack level system to determine how much hit stun, so how much time you have to follow up your hits, how much block stun you have, everything like that. The way it ends up translating when you hit people is that your jabs look like jabs. They don't have a lot of block stun. They don't have a lot of hit stun when you actually hit somebody. But then your heavier attacks, your medium and your heavier attacks, are higher attack levels. So when you hit mediums, it feels like you got hit by something that kind of matters. And of course in Dragon Ball, when you hit heavies, we have the whole cinematic, they go flying, it's the smash effect. Now actually in prior games like Guilty Gear or Persona 4 Arena or BlazBlue, there tends to be attack levels from like sometimes 0 or 1 to like 4 or 5. And the attack level 5s are huge swinging moves with so much block stun and hit stun. Dragon Ball actually does not have a lot of attack levels. There's basically only 2, just light and heavy. Might sound weird considering the buttons are light, medium, heavy, but there really is only 2. So your light moves tend to only have 11 frames of block stun, and your heavy moves have 15. That means your medium attacks and your heavy attacks have the same block stun. This is a pretty important thing to know because it could help build your defense. So here we have Broly, for example. There's a reason why higher level Broly players don't often do strings into his 5H. You can see here that his 5H is 16 frames. Remember, the magic number is 15 frames. So in this case, he cannot do a normal block string into 5H and have it be airtight. So in this example here, I'll do a whole string. The 5H hits because it's not airtight. So this means you can do frame 1 options like reflect, DP, level 3, things like that. There's also not a lot of ways around this restriction. So one way, and it's one you might remember from season 2, is to bring them down from the air to the ground. When you do this, you add 6 frames of block stun to whatever you do. In this case, if you felt like it, you can get an airtight block string into 5H, or any move that's slower. So all that out of the way, what's the deal with Blue Gogeta? So to look at this, we're going to look at his 5S here. So he has a 5S that's a beam, but it's on a key blast button. It's 18 frames, so it lines up with most other beams in the game. For comparison, here's SSJ Goku's beam, also 18 frames. But again, the big difference here is that it's on a button. It's on S. It's not a special move. So this means it has an important property that beams have. It has higher block stun than other standard moves in the game. Most moves fall into what I said before, that either 11 frame light block stun or heavy block stun of 15, but beams have more. He has this on a normal, so he can build strings that other characters cannot. So for example, you could do 5S, Super Dash, and it jails. And of course, you can do 5S into Vanish, and it's airtight. He also has this with his 2S, where you can do 2S into Vanish, and it's airtight. And in the case that the opponent tries to 2H your Super Dash, you can 2S and Super Dash, and because there's not enough time for the head invincible part of the 2H to come out, remember that it takes 4 frames for the head invincible to activate, you can hit them out of the 2H, and you actually have to make them pick something else. So if you've watched my channel for a long time, this is the special block stun that I have referred to in a lot of videos. So not all characters have this. So I decided to put together some examples of different characters' special block stun, and I encourage you to just go back and check if you haven't already to see if your character has a special property like this on their moves. We have good old SJ Goku here. He's had special block stun forever. So we have it on guard first only. So here, his auto combo jails into Vanish. This has been in the game since season 1. It also jails into beam into Vanish. this has also been in the game since season 1. It's been a really good way for him to keep his offense for a really long time. Now, most characters, as you know, if they have a beam, they tend to have this beam into vanish, and you can reflect the beam so they can't do it. This is pretty common. But there are some more unique examples. The legendary Bardock Jab. So this move has been memed to death, and its auto combo has been memed to death, but on top of having the good hitbox, the easy to combo, also kind of an anti-air, his jab has medium block stun. What do I mean? That means his jab is the same as this 5M as far as block stun. So for example, one really easy way to show it is to do block string into an H button. Most characters have slow H's. His 5H is 15 frames. So he could do 5L 5H and it jails. You can't move. This is why strings like this with Bardock, like super delayed 2Ls, are so potent with him. Of course, Lord Vegeta, along with the many things that he has that are good, he also has 2L into Vanish. The 2L has special block stun as well. He can make himself plus off his 2L. Anytime characters have properties like this, it really helps with building offense. You could take advantage of it in sparking. So what do you mean? Let's extrapolate a little bit. So when you're in sparking, you have held vanish as an option. So you can actually go and check how much advantage you have when you do moves into sparking. So for the most part, everything follows the same rules. So I'll do his 2M. His 2M, since it's the same attack level, right? The 15 frame block stun on held vanish has the same advantage as the 5M, as +4. But knowing what we know now about his 5S, how much frame advantage do you get off 5S into held vanish and sparking? +11. So what does this mean? So since you have so much frame advantage, you can try to continue offense after doing 5S held vanish. So in this example, you can get a 5S held vanish JM that counter hits 2H so you can keep your offense. Special block stun has been in the game for a really long time, and it's helped people construct special situations that are pretty uncommon in Dragon Ball. At this point, most characters have at least one move that gives this property, even if it's not something that is totally airtight. Of course, not everyone can be the father of Goku, but it's really worth investigating these situations. When I saw that Gogeta had key blasts that were beams, I was like, immediately I thought, he definitely has ways he could take advantage of special block stun because of this. Like, there's no way they're going to make it look like a beam and not give it beam frame data, and it ended up working that way. So hopefully that makes sense. This is one that people ask me about a lot when I do, especially commentary on stream. So I hope that clears that up. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.